Hi, I'm Josh, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the domains that you'll find in the platform. And we're going to start with requesting. And you might see it called manned or manding, but all that means is that we're teaching our learners how to ask for things that they need. And while it's pretty easy to learn that for most typically developing children, those who have autism or related disorders often have difficulty getting that first bit of communication. And probably of all the communication, the request or mand is the most important because it's how you learn the value of language. And so for a lot of our learners that haven't yet contacted the importance and the value of being able to communicate with family members or others, this ability to use my language to get something I want is really powerful. And once they contact that, they'll start to say, oh, what else can I do with this? And then you start to see the language grow. And so our first step generally in the manned acquisition stage, or teaching how to request, is to find items that are highly preferred. So often that might be food, comfort items like a stuffed animal, blanket, or sometimes parents or caregivers or siblings. And so we work to teach them that when you say this, or when you sign this, or when you point to a picture icon of this, then that thing shows up for you. And it's a lot faster, easier, and therefore more efficient than either engaging in some sort of problem behavior like tantruming or pulling and pointing, which is often very frustrating when you don't have the ability to use words to request things. You point at things, and that works if the thing's right here and I can point at it. If it's across the room or up high and the person that I'm trying to communicate with can't identify exactly where I'm pointing, it's very frustrating. And so often we'll see a lot of challenging behavior show up due to that frustration, that they can't communicate what's going on. And after we get that first little bit of, when they ask for things they want, they can get those, we start to expand on that, and we build larger vocabulary or larger repertoire so that they can start to ask for help to stop something if it's too difficult, or if they don't like it, they can ask for a break from it. So you'll see that as we teach them how to get the things they want, we also teach how to get out of the stuff that they don't like. And as we get that as a strong skill set, we start to add complexity, such as adding adjectives and descriptors. So they can ask for the red ball versus the blue ball, or they can ask for the peach ice cream instead of the strawberry ice cream. And so as you start to add the adjectives, it becomes a more complex vocabulary. Then we start to add in ways to talk about me and you, so we can ask for things for me, or ask for my this or your that, which then plays into things like sharing and turn taking. And so you'll see throughout the program that as they learn more and more words, signs, or pictures for things that they like, they start to get more complex, and we start to add ways for them to modify the thing they want. I want a small piece, or I want a big piece. I want to go fast, or I want to walk slowly. I want it to be louder or quieter. All those things are part of the requesting or manned repertoire that you'll see in this program. And so you'll see this early on because it's so important, and it's the first part of language that's immediately valuable to the learner. And that's one of the things in behavior analysis. We want to figure out, when we're trying to teach something, we want the learner to see value in that fast, so that when it's hard, it's effortful for them. So when they engage and they work towards whatever it is we're trying to get them to do, we want them to see that that has a good payoff. And so requesting or manding has a great payoff, because once you have a request available to you, you get things so much easier and faster. And so that's kind of the ultimate goal with the manding. And often you can do mand training by holding a thing that they like. If they wanted a ball, you could hold a ball. And then if you're going to try to teach them to say it, you might model ball, and then when they say it, you hand it to them. You might have to go for approximations. If it's a signer, you might model the sign, you might prompt the sign and then hand them the ball. And then as you see this exchange repeatedly, they'll start to do these things independently. And so you reinforce that request with the thing that they're requesting. And that's kind of the nuts and bolts of a request training trial. And so now as you get more complex, there's a variety of ways to make their repertoire more sophisticated and nuanced. But to start with, it's quite simple that they say the word or an approximation, or they sign it, or they point to a picture, and then they get the thing immediately. And it's that immediacy that's pretty critical too. If they ask for something and it takes more than a second or two to get it for them, you don't have as much power in the reinforcement. So you want to be able to, as they ask, that you can just pop, right there it is for them, and then that's good.